Welcome back, DIVEBOMB IndyCar Podcast, to a bonus episode this week, and I think it's a very good reason to have a bonus because we have David Malukas, now of Team Penske, on the show. David, welcome on. It's been a couple of months since you've been confirmed at Penske, so how has life been at the team thus far, and how has your off-season treated you?
It's been awesome, and I've been loving my time at the new team. As the Team Penske has been treating me very well. Just got a lot of resources for me, so I can. I've been very busy. So out of all my off seasons, this one has felt probably one of the shorter ones, just because of all the different things I can look at, all the different tools. So I've really been able to spend my time on staying busy. But off season's been well. We've just been working hard, trying to get ready, and we got Sebring tests next week, and a few weeks out, we're going to be at St. Pete.
And I know everyone was talking all year about, is David going to end up at Penske? But can you recall for us the moment that you officially found out that it was happening, that you would be joining Penske? Where were you? How did you find out? How did you feel? Just recall the moment.
Yeah. So we were, there's talks back and forth, but I got the official call actually at Portland. And I remember it was leaving the track at Portland, all in the car, and get the phone call from the captain, and he's starts talking. He's like, hey, you got the offer to join the team. And so I mute, and I'm like super pumped up. He's like talking, after he said that, I did not understand anything he was saying. After that point, I muted, I'm like screaming, all excited. And then I unmute when he stops talking, and I'm just thank you, Roger, very much for the opportunity. I'm trying to act all serious. But yeah, it was I was super ecstatic when I got that call, man. It's a dream come true.
And I guess kind of everybody really knows about the story of the last 2 years and kind of how your world got flipped around many times. But can you kind of put into words how being here now at one of the most legendary teams in racing kind of feels after the journey that you've been on?
It's pretty crazy to look back and think about everything that's happened and how I've ended up here. If you would have told me back in 2024, Indy 500, I was just doing content with IndyCar. I was doing TikToks,
Did a very good job at it. Let's say that.
Yeah. I was having a good time. I loved working out with the media crew. But I'm doing TikToks in turn 2 at the 500, and then fast forward 2 years, and now I'm signing with Team Penske. If you had told me back then, I just wouldn't be able to believe it. So it really kind of changed my mind on the way everything is in life. Everything happens for a reason. All that stuff that's happened with my wrist and the injury and having to deal with all that, I think it mentally prepared me for me being here today at Team Penske.
And what lessons have you taken from the injury, obviously being released as well? And I guess, as you mentioned, how has it maybe altered your perspective a bit, and maybe in a way that can help you at Penske?
Back then, obviously, let's just say right now I have a lot less hobbies outside of racing. Back then I was, doing a lot more stuff. But a lot of it too was, to help for racing, with the biking that I did, all of it too was just for fitness, and obviously a fitness in a way to have also a good time. But obviously I had the injury and all that stuff, so I learned from that perspective. But a lot of it was just dealing with hardships and just from the mental side. When I had my injury and losing the ride at McLaren, it was a tough, mental period of my life, because also with the injury, it was a lot of unknowns on how I was going to recover, if it would recover. So just trying to deal with all that, it was tough for me to try to figure out, battle the thoughts in my mind. It was a lot of sad days, but I think, like I said, it was all necessary. I was able to learn a lot from it, and it kind of really changed my mindset and made me mature and made me push forward and motivate me and have discipline on, hey, there's goals that I want to achieve, and I got to do everything that I can to get that, and nothing's really going to stop me. And now, if there's any sort of problem that comes up to me now, I always have this mindset that I can find a solution to any problem, because after that, nothing's going to be as tough of a problem as what was 2024. So hit me with anything you got, and I'll be able to find a solution for it.
And was there a point back then where you kind of doubted whether you would maybe even have a career again, or?
100%. That's why I went to the content. I was like, hey, well, I got to, get my face out there. I just want to be a part of IndyCar in any way possible. And if I'm not in the car, then I'm going to just do content, do media, be on the broadcast. I just love the sport. So I just want to be connected and be there. And I think actually making that call and it helped, because, Shank gave me that miracle ride to go out there and show who I am and give me an opportunity. Yeah, with the Shank offer, like I said, it was just a miracle ride. And I feel like with with being at the Indy 500 and doing all that content, I think the reasoning for that was, to show myself out there, keep seeing my face. And I think it definitely helps. Shank saw me and remembered about me, and he said, all right, let's talk to him and see if we can get an opportunity in the car. So everything happens for a reason, and that was one of it. So.
And I guess year one with Penske, what do you kind of deem as a successful year, kind of looking at this stage already? And I guess there is a lot of pressure on you compared to previous seasons. How do you approach the season, not feeling too much pressure and kind of staying calm if things don't go your way early on?
I think going into the season, obviously, consistency is always going to be very important. With road courses, street courses, ovals, we always want to be consistent throughout all of them. But I think the main thing with Team Penske is to be getting off on a strong start. I think with having fortunate to have a lot of experience on joining new teams in the past few years. I've joined pretty much half the grid almost with teams. So I'm very comfortable with it. But I know kind of the priorities of what it takes. And I think learning from all of that from the previous teams, I can get to a better jump start on this year, because it does take some time to get acquainted with the team, the crew, the car, and understanding everything. So I think for this season, especially with Team Penske, obviously the car that they are, the people that they are, the team that they are, and the drivers that they have, I mean, St. Pete is a very good race for them. So I think we have a good chance to kind of be on a better jump start than I have with previous teams, so we can get back to, being up there and getting results quicker.
And obviously you've got particularly big boots to fill at Team Penske, replacing Will Power, Indy 500 and IndyCar champion. So how kind of is it on that front? Do you kind of feel the pressure and responsibility of trying to kind of emulate what he did at the team?
Not necessarily. I think I'm going into it as this is, going to be my own legacy, my own name. It's Verizon number 12 Team Penske Chevrolet with David Malukas. So I think that's kind of the path that I'm going to be taking it. This is going to be my path. It's different times, different drivers, and it's a different world today. So I'm going to be doing my own path. Obviously, I have my own goals and my own dreams and my own aspirations of being written across history and doing that with Team Penske. And that's going to be my goals. And we're going to be trying every day. And as long as I can go to bed each night and say I gave it my all and I tried my best, then that's the only way I'll be happy.
We'll end off with some fun questions. I know we've had some back and forths over the past year.
I have a feeling
about
I know what this
Football
is.
Manager. And I have heard some credible reports that you've stepped away from your role. The fans, they're in uproar. They're in uproar.
I have resigned. Oh no, I've taken the Xabi Alonso route. I've resigned. Here we go.
Why?
No,
why have you resigned?
Just with Team Penske, it's been busy. The amount of time I've put into that. Man, I was getting so deep into it too. I needed to cut myself off. I was getting spreadsheets going and all this stuff. I was getting into Moneyball. It was bad. So I needed to take my step back and be like, okay, I gotta get out of this. I gotta focus on some Team Penske, and I gotta focus on these results. But it's not like I'm gonna fully be gone. I think once we get this season going and get back into a normal flow, I think my Football Manager will slowly start coming back. But a big part of me leaving was just how disappointing 26 was. It was not what I expected it to be.
Yeah. Why Dorking? Why was it Dorking?
I don't know. I was looking for a team because I just wanted to bring some team up from the National League. And I don't know, Dorking Wanderers, it just sounded so cool. And I was looking at the background of it, and I was like, you know what? I think this is going to be my playthrough. I want to start on this and see and make it through. And that was the one that I stuck with. And it was really cool. It was my best campaign I've had yet. It was so much fun. The history of the players that I had. And then I got such an emotional connection with them. I didn't want them to leave, even though I could sell them and make some money. And I was like, man, I don't want him to leave, man. He's been here from the start, but I need money. So it was, I loved it. Football Manager, it's just so addicting.
Your next save has to be Tunbridge, because that's my local National League South team. So I've got big expectations.
Okay, that'll be my next team for sure. But this is our call that we need to make an IndyCar Manager game. If we could do that, that would be awesome, man. I would love that.
Yes.
Quickly, more in the football front. Why do you support Chelsea of all teams?
So I support Chelsea because, well, it's actually two teams. It's Chelsea and Leeds, because when I was in England, I spent a lot of my time. I lived in Leeds and Grimsby, surprisingly. So I lived there, and I spent a little bit of time in London. But when I was getting into the Premier League, I mean, I was young back then, and I didn't know anything about football or soccer, what we call here in the States. And I was just with the teams, and they're like, hey, you need to pick a team to support. We're doing like a Premier League fantasy league for the karting team. And like you got to pick one. And I was like, well, Chelsea looks really cool. I really like the emblem. I want to be with Chelsea. And they're like, okay, fine, just be with Chelsea, whatever. And then since then, that was my connection. I got really connected with Chelsea. I went to my first game. I went for a Chelsea game, and I was like, wow, like the energy, everything. So I ended up getting connected with the badge, and I was like, all right, I'm a blue. And that was because they were my first ones to get attached. I just love football as a whole. I watched all the series from Italy, France, watching Endrick spell over there. He's been doing good, and obviously Spain. So I've been watching all of them.
Do you miss Grimsby at all? What's the best thing about living in Grimsby?
I don't know. When somebody told me they were known for their haircuts, I mean, I guess I had some decent haircuts back then. But, I think I had fish and chips over there too. Is not bad. But yeah, let's just say, I think I got more memories of like Leeds and Manchester and other places.
Quickly, what are your memories of Manchester? Because that's where I hail from.
Well, mainly just the airport, because I always flew. There was this one flight. It was Manchester's AA-54 from Chicago down to Manchester, and I remember, or I guess up. But I always flew that back and forth so often that I knew the crew, and they were so nice to me because I was young at the time. They would give me like ice cream sundaes and then like get me into the first class seat all the time when there was free space. So it was pretty awesome. I have good experiences at Manchester, but a lot of it too was just the airport and pulling up to it just being cloudy, raining all the time. So that was my memories over there. And Pizza Express, I remember the egg in the middle. That was like big eye opener to me. It was like they cracked an egg in the middle of the pizza.
Random. Right, I guess you're nearing the airport. So just to finish, every driver that we have on, we asked for 2 songs to add to our IndyCar driver playlist. So can we please have 2 songs from you?
2 songs. We'll do Danger Zone, to be more from the IndyCar world, and then I'm gonna be completely random because I've just been loving it. It's been making me want to dance. Is that new Little Uzi Vert song, "What You Sayin'"? It's been popping. I really like that. So it's 2 completely different songs.
Cool. Adds to the very diverse playlist. David, you got a flight to catch. We really appreciate your time. We're looking forward to seeing what you can do this season. We're looking forward to the mid-season Football Manager update as well.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.